Have you ever had a moment where you felt like you were finally getting somewhere with your manifestation, only for something to happen that completely threw you off? You're feeling good, you're believing in your new story, and then boom, something triggers you, and suddenly all that progress feels like it's slipping away. But what if I told you that those triggers aren't actually setbacks? That in fact, they're one of the most powerful tools you have to manifest exactly what you want, and faster than ever. Stick around because I'm going to show you how to turn every single trigger into a stepping stone to your desires. Hello, my beautiful superheroes. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm Scarlett Grace. I'm a manifestation coach, and I'm here to help you manifest all of your heart's desires. So, first, let's break it down. What is actually a trigger? So, a trigger is anything that brings up strong negative emotions because it reminds you of something painful or something you fear or something you don't want to experience. And triggers can be very severe, like you go into full PTSD mode and you need medication, or they can be milder. They just put you in a state where your heart beats faster and you're having all those negative thoughts and emotions, but it's manageable. You don't actually have to go into a panic attack. All of those are different kinds of triggers, different levels of being triggered. Triggers can come in many different forms. Words, situations, people, memories, even something as small as a specific smell or a song playing on the radio. What makes them so powerful isn't the trigger itself, but the emotional response they create inside of you. And that emotional response is what connects triggers to manifestation. Why? Because your dominant state of being, that is your thoughts, your feelings, your assumptions, determines what you manifest. When something triggers you, it usually brings up emotions that reinforce the old negative reality you want to change. For example, let's say that you're manifesting money. You have been affirming, you have been visualizing, and you have been feeling wealthy. Then you check your bank account and you see a very low balance, and suddenly you feel anxious. And you have thoughts like, see, this isn't working. I'll never be financially free. Who am I kidding? This is a desperate situation and I'm trying to persuade myself that I'm actually wealthy. Or maybe you're manifesting a specific person and you have been living in the end, feeling loved, feeling chosen, and then you see them liking somebody else's photo on social media. And instantly, immediately, it feels like a punch in the gut. Your mind starts spiraling. They don't want me. They're already over me. They've moved on. This person is hotter than I am. That moment, that emotional reaction is what being triggered feels like. And this is where most people sabotage their manifestation without even realizing it. Most people think getting triggered is a bad thing. They panic. Oh no, I got triggered. That must mean my manifestation is now ruined. But think about it. Who made that rule? Who said that getting triggered means you can't have what you want? There is no cosmic judge marking points against you. There is no divine committee sitting on a cloud and saying, oh, Susan got triggered again. Too bad, no manifestation for her. It doesn't work like that. You are the one manifesting all the things in your reality. Nobody's looking. Nobody's judging. Manifesting isn't Santa Claus. There's nobody watching you when you're sleeping, thinking, or getting triggered to decide if you've been naughty or nice and if you're allowed to have your manifestation or not. Okay? If what I'm saying and the way I'm explaining things resonates with you, then I highly recommend that you work with me so that you can immediately apply everything I share with you in my videos to your specific situation. One-on-one coaching sessions via Zoom are available, and coaching via recording is another option. And if you're manifesting a specific person, I have a 21-day course to help you manifest your specific person that you can start right now. The links for all of those things are in the description below. So, getting triggered doesn't mean you won't get your manifestation or that it will be delayed unless you decide that is what it means. The only thing that delays your manifestation is deciding that getting triggered means you won't get it. The problem isn't the trigger itself, it's the meaning you give to it. Here's what getting triggered and reacting as if this means you won't get your manifestation actually does. It reinforces the old story, the story where you don't have what you want. If you fall into the rabbit hole of, I got triggered and that's terrible, I will never get my manifestation, it can last for hours or days or even weeks for some people. And all those hours or days or weeks, they'll be telling themselves the old story over and over again. The story where they can never have what they want. It will never manifest. It just never happens for them. That is what delays your manifestation and makes you feel like nothing is ever changing. That is what is keeping things stuck. Not the trigger itself, not the fact that you got triggered into feeling terrible, but the meaning you give to the trigger. But here's the good news. Triggers are not a bad thing at all. Triggers are extremely useful when it comes to manifesting, and you can actually use your triggers to get your desires even faster. I know this may sound completely outrageous to you, like how could being triggered actually be a good thing that makes me manifest faster when it feels so horrible and it pulls me out of the state of the wish fulfilled? Well, glad you asked. There's actually two main ways you can use getting triggered to manifest your desires even faster. But before I explain what those two ways are, I want to first give you a way to handle triggers better the moment they are happening so that they don't turn into those huge devastating events that ruin your whole day or even your whole week. Because if you feel completely overwhelmed by whatever triggered you, it will be so much harder to use any manifestation technique at that moment. The reason we end up feeling so incredibly bad for such a long time when we get triggered is because we resist our negative emotions. Now, I know many of you will ask, but isn't manifesting all about not accepting our negative emotions and always feeling positive? And the answer is no, it is not. This is just a misconception about how emotions work. No emotion is actually bad by itself. What makes some emotions harmful is the fact that we resist them. And as you already know, if you've been watching manifestation videos for a while, what we resist persists. Here's how it works. You get hit with a negative emotion and your immediate reaction is no. Your whole body clenches up and your jaw is clenched and your fists are clenched and your breathing becomes shallow as if your body is trying to keep the negative emotion out. That's how most of us react to negative emotions. But when you do this, what happens is that you aren't allowing your body to process that emotion. You are resisting it, so it will keep persisting. That is why it feels like a battle. You have all those negative thoughts, and you're trying to keep them out, but they keep persisting until you're exhausted, and then all the negative feelings hit you all at once, and you feel desperate and powerless. If you've ever tried to ignore an emotion, you know that it only makes it come back stronger. If you resist feeling sadness or fear or frustration, those emotions don't disappear. They build up, waiting for another opportunity to come to the surface. The key to neutralizing a negative emotion is to stop resisting it and instead allow it. So instead, try this. When you get triggered, when you get hit with a negative emotion in general, first of all, relax your body. Consciously unclench your jaw and loosen your shoulders and take a deep, slow breath in. And then allow the feeling to be there. Not the negative thoughts. I don't want you to get lost into that narrative of the old story and how things are never working out for you or whatever. Focus on the actual feeling in your body. An emotion is not out there. It's an actual sensation in your physical body. if you feel as if somebody just punched you in the gut, then you know where your body feels that emotion. It's in the gut and it feels like somebody punched you, right? Concentrate on that part of your body and allow the feeling to be there. Don't judge it. Don't try to shove it aside. Don't try to push it away. Don't try to keep it out. Just let it exist. You can even talk to it and say, okay, I allow you to exist. You have every right to be here. I'm not trying to push you away. You can stay for as long as you like. And just focus on the physical sensation in that part of your body. You can even remind yourself that this is just a feeling. It has no actual power over me. I can allow it to be there. It's not going to do any damage. It can just be there. If you actually do that, after a few moments, a few minutes at most, your body will have processed it and you will start feeling better automatically. When you don't resist it and you don't attach all kinds of thoughts and meanings to it, it will pass through you and disappear. Your nervous system will process it and will be done with it. Emotions aren't meant to be permanent. They are not meant to last forever. Think back to the last time you were angry. You cannot be angry and seething for 3 whole days with no breaks. You will be dead if you try to do that. It's not natural. It doesn't happen. Emotions don't last for a very long time. Those negative emotions are just a form of pain, and pain doesn't last forever. Think of how you handle physical pain. Like if you pluck your eyebrows, for example, you know it's gonna hurt, but you don't make a big deal out of it. You don't try super hard to keep the pain out because you know it's just gonna last for a few moments and then it's gone and you have perfect eyebrows. It's still painful, but you aren't making a big deal out of it. You aren't giving the pain any sort of meaning. If you treat the negative emotions the same way, they will also fade and disappear after a while, just like the pain from plucking your eyebrows. Now that you know how to handle the negative emotions when you get triggered, let me show you how you can use your triggers to actually manifest your desire. The first way triggers are incredibly useful for manifestation is because of what they are telling you. As you may already know, reality is only a mirror reflecting what is going on inside of you. So if you decide you want to manifest a specific goal, and you start using visualization or affirmations or any manifestation technique really, and then a few hours or a few days later, something happens that triggers you, that doesn't mean that you're failing. I know that's what most of you think, but it is not that at all. That is reality saying, hey, look over here. You have this thing in your subconscious that's standing in the way of your manifestation. That's what you need to move out of the way, okay? You're welcome. Let's say, for example, that you're manifesting your ex back, and then you go to the grocery store and you see your ex with another woman. And you get triggered big time, and you start thinking, of course he's already moved on. I'm not important. If I was important to him, he wouldn't have moved on so fast. Nobody ever chooses me. Do you notice what happened there? You don't have to wonder what your limiting beliefs are. Reality just served them up to you on a silver platter. Those thoughts you had when you got triggered, those are exactly your limiting beliefs. You're not failing to manifest. In fact, reality is already responding to the manifestation techniques you've been using by clearly pointing out your limiting beliefs. That is a great thing. Many people tell me, I don't know why this desire just won't manifest. I've changed all my limiting beliefs. I've changed my self-concept, but nothing is shifting. And then they go on to tell me all the negative triggering things that happened and how they made them feel. Well, stop the presses. Those thoughts are your limiting beliefs. Exactly those thoughts. You don't have to wonder. You don't have to go looking for limiting beliefs. Reality already pointed them out to you very, very, very clearly. In the example I just mentioned about running into your ex at the grocery store, you would never actually think, he moved on, so that means I'm not important. Nobody ever chooses me, unless you already believe that you're not important and nobody ever chooses you. You wouldn't. I've had friends who wanted an ex back, and that exact same scenario happened to them. They went to the grocery store, and there was their specific person with what looked like a third party. And because they didn't have these limiting beliefs, they didn't get triggered, and what they actually thought was, oh, I hope this is a third party and not their cousin or something, because if they are trying to move on, that will just prove how much better I am to any other woman. I'm just irreplaceable, and they will find out very soon. They will come running back to me in no time. So the actual event is irrelevant. The thoughts that come to your mind, together with the negative emotions, is what's important and what's super useful. Because when you know what beliefs are standing in the way, you can do something about it. You can write the exact opposite in your affirmations. For example, I am the most important person in the world and I'm always chosen. And you can use that affirmation over and over and over until your subconscious mind accepts it as real. Or you can ask yourself, interesting limiting belief I have there. I wonder, when did I first accept this belief as true? And find the event in your past that made you believe that about yourself and use the revision technique to change what happened and make the belief collapse. And that will make it completely disappear. The second way you can use your triggers to manifest your desires is by seeing them as an opportunity to establish the new reality you want even more firmly. In other words, instead of seeing it as something negative that happened, treat it like an alert you've set up on your phone, a reminder to shift into your new identity, into your new story, and affirm your new reality. When you get triggered, stop for a moment and take a breath. Recognize what's happening. Say to yourself, oh wow, I got triggered. How awesome. What a great opportunity to practice sticking to my new story, where I already am a different version of me, where I already have what I want. The key here is to see the trigger not as something that throws you off track, but as an alert. It's like your inner navigation system saying, you're heading in the wrong direction. Make a U-turn here. Instead of getting stuck in the old story, this is your moment to choose again and realign with the version of yourself who has already manifested what you desire. The version of you that has the inner identity that matches your desire. You've probably heard that to manifest anything, you need to persist in the new story about how you already are a different version of you, how you already have what you desire. And what better way to practice that in action than when you're actually triggered? It's like a built-in practice session for your mind. Instead of letting the trigger control you, you take your control back. Every time you get triggered, it's a signal to remind you of your new story, your new beliefs, and your new self-concept. If you're manifesting a loving relationship, for example, and a situation comes up that triggers feelings of unworthiness or loneliness, you don't fall into the old story of I'm not loved or I'll never find someone. Instead, when you catch yourself, stop and ask yourself, what would the version of me who knows 100% without absolutely any doubt that they are loved and worthy and always the one chosen, think in this situation? This situation, for that version of you, cannot mean that you're never chosen. That never happens in your reality. So it must be something else. What would that version of you think? You figure that out, you think that thought instead. That's how you embody that version of you. Or just stop any negative story playing in your mind and start mentally repeating your affirmations instead, at that very moment. And that applies to any desire, by the way, not just when manifesting love. Maybe the thing that triggered you was a bill that's 3 times higher than you expected, or not getting a raise like you wanted, or any other event that made you feel that you won't get your manifestation, no matter what the manifestation that you want actually is. Persistence is the key to manifestation. The thoughts and beliefs you repeat every day create your reality. But you don't need perfect circumstances to practice those thoughts. If anything, your triggers give you the most powerful times to affirm the version of you who already has the life they desire. I mean, anyone can affirm when everything is going well, right? It's when circumstances are telling you that the exact opposite than what you want is happening, where persisting in your new reality is the most powerful. Getting triggered is an opportunity to look the old reality in the eyes and tell it that it's old news and it has no right to still be here. So it better disappear. So every time you get triggered, treat it as a golden opportunity to reinforce your new reality. It's a moment to very powerfully show your subconscious that you are living in your desired state. This is our new reality. This is happening. This will manifest your desire faster because you're actively reinforcing your desired reality every time a trigger shows up. The more you do this, the faster you will rewire your mind and the faster your manifestation will show up. You are training your mind to persist in the state of the wish fulfilled. And when you do this consistently, your new reality becomes inevitable. The triggers you experience are no longer obstacles. They become your most powerful allies, your most powerful tools, giving you a direct path to the manifestation of your desires. Instead of falling into old patterns or getting upset when something doesn't look like what you want, you can smile and say, "Perfect! Here's my chance to get my desire even faster." It is not a setback, it is a gift. And there is one more super powerful technique you can use to manifest your desire, even if you're feeling super negative and you can't pull yourself out of that negative state no matter what you try. I explain what the technique is and exactly how to use it in the video that's on your screen right now. So click to watch that video now and I'll see you in the next video.